Can you see that all right? Welcome to my laboratory. What you're looking at there is my revised schematic of the LaserSaber, what I call the ghost light circuit. And I hope to be able to demonstrate the situation right now. I've redrawn it in this rail-to-rail format, and I've made a change or two. Well, one change anyway. I've pulled a transformer out of a television set and used that transformer. I don't know what the turns ratio are, but I put the bigger wire one over here and the greater turns number over here. And for this diode, I use a diode RU3Y, which is a fast diode, fast rectifier diode, also from a television set. But here's the major change here. I put a 220K resistor with a switch here, so I can switch the 220K resistor across that diode, take it out or put it in. And the reason for that is, I hope will become clear pretty soon. Now, here's the actual thing here. Okay, and I've got it hooked up. Anyway, there's the reservoir capacitor. These are the voltmeter leads that go up to the Simpson voltmeter. So we're looking at the voltage on the reservoir capacitor stack. That's a bunch of 1,000 microfarad capacitors, again out of the television sets, that I put together into a 10,000 or 11,000 microfarad stack. And this is the battery pack. As I showed earlier, I've got it rigged so that I can either switch both batteries in series or just one in series. It comes out here. So the voltmeter will tell us what the battery supply is putting onto the capacitor. Okay. So and I've got it marked there are 2 off and 1 batteries. Okay. And so just to show you, let's see, that's the residual charge on the capacitor. That's the 1 battery position. That's the 2 battery position. Okay, so you can see that we're pretty low on those batteries. They're only about 1 volt each, slightly over 1 volt each. Okay, now what I discovered was that the circuit will work as LaserSaber had it drawn out without the addition of the switch and the resistor. The circuit works as a ghost light demonstrator, but it doesn't seem to work for me as anything else. Like it doesn't work as a Joule thief actually. But what I discovered was that by just causing the thing to oscillate, you can do it by putting the resistor from the base to the collector of the 2N2222, but I figured that it also goes up here. Look at that. It's ghost lighting already. Anyhow, I don't even have the ground lead hooked up yet. Okay, so where was I? Anyway, yes. Okay, so with the resistor bypassing the diode, I turn on to the 1 battery position, and you can see here that we've actually got a nice brilliant white LED, and if I go to the 2 battery position, it really goes. Okay, so that's the Joule thief mode, and by lowering the value of the resistor from 220K down, you get even brighter lights. If you just short it out, it's really a screamer. In fact, if you just short out the diode, that's the equivalent of the power supply that I showed earlier to run the other Joule thief. Okay, so but that won't do the ghost light mode. All right, so now that's all good. So now we'll turn the battery power off, and you see the light fade from the reservoir capacitor, right? Okay, so now we'll switch it to the other mode. So now the resistor's out of the circuit, and we're just have the diode now. So now if I go to 1 battery, it doesn't do anything. And 2 batteries, it also doesn't do anything, right? Okay, but if I take the ground wire. This goes to the outside earth ground, and I hook it up to the point that is shown on the diagram there, the base of the 2N2222A transistor. Okay, like that. I guess you can probably see that the light is on, but the switch is off, right? So that's the ghost light, and if I right, it's fading now. So what I'm going to do is turn the switch on, and that's the 2 position. It's brighter than it was before, off and 1 position. Okay, so still have a little bit of Joule thief function here, as long as we've got the earth ground hooked up. So if I go to the 2 position, that's interesting, nice and bright. Now I'll turn it off, and it doesn't get any dimmer, right? And if I actually use my finger to touch parts of the circuit, like any place on the positive rail is a good place to touch. It just flickered and went out. Okay. So some of that is because the voltmeter is probably actually draining some of the power out. So let's disconnect the voltmeter. So I think that this is happening because you need some charge on the capacitor stack. Okay, now look at what's happening here. I've disconnected the voltmeter, so now I get no Joule thief effect unless I touch something. If I touch something, like there I'm touching the positive battery, which would be the same thing as this antenna up there. That's on the positive rail. Okay, then I get the ghost light. Okay, and that happens even if I have the switch off. See there? Switch is off, I touch the positive, and I get the ghost light. And it stays on for a good long time. I'm just standing here. Now it is dimming slowly. And then there I took my finger off. The collector of the transistor is a good place to touch too. See there? I'm touching it now. I got the ghost light. So I think that what's happening is that the charge in the capacitor, if I squeeze the capacitor, I can squeeze some more charge out. See there? The charge in the capacitor is either running the light and the ground is triggering the base of the transistor, or the other way around. I don't know, but it takes both to work. So let's put some more charge into the capacitor by turning this on, and of course I can, by touching is the only way to actually make the light come on. So now I can turn it off again, and then go back to the collector over here, and there's the ghost light. Feel the chills going up and down your spine. Ooh. The battery's off. We're hooked to the ground and to my finger. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, anyhow, I really want to thank LaserSaber for coming up with this very interesting circuit, and I still don't know where there's any high voltage, but it sure works well as a Joule thief. Here I've just switched the diode back in, and it looks like I'm getting another, I haven't turned it on yet again, but if I touch the battery supply over here, just touch it, I start getting more light again. So now we'll put some more charge back in there. Wow. And that's of course with the diode, just the diode with the resistor out. and that's with the ground hooked up there. So I can get a ghost light in this mode too, but it doesn't last as long as in the other mode. With the resistor out and just the diode there, I get a long-lasting off and a long-lasting ghost light. And this is just on 2 volts, remember, on the battery pack. If I actually charged it to 10 or 12 volts, I think it would either last a whole lot longer or be, I don't think it would be any brighter. I think it would last longer. But as you can see, it lasts a good long time anyway, before it finally fades away. It may not even fade away, but I've got to fade away. Thank you for watching. That was me taking my finger off.